this particular video is for anyone and everyone who's actually feeling stressed and stuck at this point of time in their life. So let's jump into the actual thing that I wanted to speak to you about. And I was actually listening to Dr. Rangan Chatterjee's video on this. It's a beautiful and a simple framework that we can get into if we're really feeling stressed. Today, doctors are actually telling us very, very clearly that any kind of condition that you have in you, whether it is migraine, whether it is pain in the body, whether it is skin problems, whether it is anxiety, whatever it may be, it's linked to your stress. So stress is something that we cannot do away with or we cannot ignore. And that seems to be one of the main reasons why there is a disease in our body, which leads and accumulation of that more and more leads to some kind of bigger kind of a disease that you might face. Now, having said this, I'm going to emphasize on daily routines, and I'm going to sort of split this videos sessions into more sessions to understand how we can really tackle this stress. Let me start off actually telling you what my daily routine is like when I get up in the morning and what happens when I don't follow the daily routine. Okay, so typically when I get up in the morning, I do my yoga, I do my meditation, I have that's for some time. I don't want to tell you the time that I do it, but I just want to tell you what I do. So I do yoga, meditation, I exercise, I cook, and then I start my day of work. Okay, simply put, right? Now, if I don't do this, what I have seen is the way I react and respond to people, one, within the house, whom I'm interacting with, my house, my daughter, my maid, or anyone whom I am, especially with closer people, there is a very different kind of response or probably reaction that I have if I don't follow my daily routine. And this is something that I keep telling my husband also, that you know what, today I'm not okay and I'm not responding to you properly because I haven't done my yoga, I haven't done my meditation. And my husband tells me, don't depend on it so much, don't say such things. You can be the way you are, or you can respond the way you want to respond. It is your choice. And then we get onto an argument saying, no, it's something I need to do, right? Now, this may be different for different people, but for me as a person, something that really matters is this daily routine. It's almost like taking that pill, right? And which is what a lot of them do nowadays. And I must actually share, the story of some of my friends, my own daughters, moms who actually think that giving a pill to their daughters, which is like sort of daughters or kids is a depression or an anxiety pill or whatever it is common, and that's the way it helps them sort issues. I was quite surprised with this, because for me that is definitely not a way of solving issues. It could be probably a temporary kind of aspect to the problem, solution to the problem, but not really a permanent one. So having said this, one of the things that I want to emphasize in this video and also talk more about it is about intentional daily routine, which is something that I'll talk about in detail in the next video too. But here I want to share with you about a framework, and this is linked to some of the clients whom I've worked with on a coaching kind of engagement, and certain things that come out in the engagement, what is linked to their mind, body, emotion, whatever it may be, is about how do they manage all of these aspects keeping the daily routine in mind and how to manage, your mind, your body, your emotions, your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. Because I always talk about this as TEA, thoughts, emotions, actions. How are your thoughts? And because thoughts leads to emotions and emotions leads to actions. And this is something that I keep putting it up in my community, saying, align your brain, it's tea time. Thoughts, emotions, actions with tea, right? Along with your tea, you can have your thoughts and emotions and actions aligned because it is sequential. Now let me share the story of my one of the clients. And whenever I start a session with a client, one of the things that I do is actually the here and now technique, which is to breathe, and to be in the here and now so that we focus in the session. A very, very simple routine like this that I do in every session of mine. In fact, I had coached one of the doctors, and more than all the sessions that I did with her, which was a 12-session process, the very routine of starting every session with clearing the space, sort of making it a here and now with a breathing technique that was introduced, helped her so much to calm down. And, when we were taking actions, she would say, no, before we talk about something, let's do this breathing technique. Let's start the session with the breathing technique that you have taught me. Let's do that first. So that became a routine. And every session, even if I forget, she would remind me that, hey, let's do this so that we get in the center of focus. Right? Get into the center of focus and then do the session. Simple daily routine. Okay. So talking about, Dr. Rangan Chatterjee's, certain concepts and frameworks, he being a doctor, and how the kind of patients that he deals with in a very, very simple framework, that he suggests to people is the 3M framework, which is called mindfulness, movement, and mindset framework. So one of the things that he suggests to one of his clients is, because there were issues that she had a lot of skin problems when she came and met him, was about, and what he realized is, given the background of this individual, she being a single mom with 2 kids and, handling a very, very stressful job. And one of the main reasons why the skin problem was there, because of the stress that she was facing on a day-to-day basis. So what he suggested to her was not a big thing, just this 3M framework of mindfulness, mindset, and movement. Okay, so what she did in the mindfulness, and this is about trying to find out what you like rather than trying to force it. No, do this daily routine, it matters. That's not what I'm saying. That when I'm talking about daily routine, you have to do it. Not necessarily. For me, it matters that I do this and I start my day with that. If I start my day with that, it's very beautiful. I mean, I just finish all the items that I put on my book to-do list, and I finish and I feel good about it at the end of the day. And it matters to me to start the day with the daily routines that I do. Now for you, it may not necessarily be in the start of the day. It could be some time in the day, which is okay, but figure that out, okay? Now having said that, the 3M framework of mindfulness, movement, and mindset is very, very simple. So this particular lady who met the doctor, the skin problems that she had was primarily because of her stress, which is what the Dr. Rangan actually realized, and he said, okay, just do this for 5 minutes every day and any time in the day. It need not necessarily be in the morning that you have to do it, right? So the first thing was mindfulness, where there was a breathing technique taught, which was done for a minute. The second thing was movement, where she used to do yoga and he made her do what she loved doing in a particular sequence for 2 minutes, right? So 3 minutes done and another 2 minutes to go, right? Which is the mindfulness over, movement over. And the last thing was basically the mindset. He said that you do affirmations, right? So affirmations is something that she wrote on a day-to-day basis for just 2 minutes. It's not the number or you have to do it. So this made it very, very simple for her. And over a period of time, when she started doing this, in fact, the skin problems that she had reduced. It did not go away 100%, but you could see the change in her skin, right? And this is essentially what we need to get into. Also, talking about affirmations. When I start my office day, apart from the yoga, meditation, exercise, cooking, and starting the day, when I start my office day, I actually start with 20 statements of increase, the affirmations. And affirmations is something that I write and post in my community. Initially, I used to not believe in these affirmations. There were doubts in my mind of whether it really works. There were doubts in people's mind whether it would really work. Now, affirmations is something that I think should come as naturally as possible. Like you breathe should be something like the way you talk. It's something naturally, it's like you talk, it's like you eat, like you drink water. So the moment you start finding meaning to it, and if the moment you start questioning whether it'll work or not, it's not going to work for you. So it needs to become really natural. And that's exactly what I tell my people, my community, my clients, that if you're doing affirmations with the belief that, okay, if I just do it, it's going to work, but I don't know, maybe not, it's not going to work. So that belief has to come from inside, and for that you need to practice that you'd have no doubts about the affirmations, and that it is working. It is working. It is working. It is working. Yes, and it's more about the experience, and this is something I've learned from so many of my mentors, on how experience of it is even more important than just teaching it. Now, right now, when I'm saying so many things, I'm also saying it out of what is the experience that I have felt while writing affirmations. It's not about teaching, it that you do it and it will work. And if I tell you that, and I'm sure 100,000 people would have told you that, but it's my experience and my feeling. My experience and my feeling, what I felt in my body about doing affirmations, which has made things work. And that's exactly what you need to do, when you are doing affirmations. I don't want to teach, but feel this. So the 3M framework of mindfulness, movement, and is the mindset is something that you can do just for 5 minutes as a daily routine. So I would like to end this video by emphasizing on intentional daily routine that you need to do. Don't stress on it, because stress is anyway there. You can't ignore it. But intentional daily routine need not necessarily start in the day, but how you do it through whenever you want to do it. For example, I don't start my office day at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. in the morning. But whenever I start my office day, before that, I write my affirmations, I write my goals, I post certain things in my community. That's my daily routine, office routine. I listen to my affirmations, I listen to certain other things before I start my day. It could be even at 11 a.m. in the morning. It could be at 11:30 a.m. in the morning, but I start with that. So whenever you start your day, it could be 2 p.m. It could be whatever it is that you do this, right? So that's the thing. The other thing that I also wanted to talk about, is very interesting, is about how, you sort of accumulate the stress through the day, right? So there is this threshold of stress that you have, and here's where you are now. You get up in the morning, and typically what I've seen is people who come to me who are trying to tackle with, say, trying to find out a meaning in their life, trying to find out what should they do next, trying to find out what is their purpose. One of the things that I've also noticed is they come with these issues because the habits are not in place. So typically there are people who sleep really late in the night because of the office conditions or whatever it may be. And then they have this alarm which rings at 6 a.m. in the morning, and you get up with that big alarm ring, which itself is like of a small stress that's already created. Now your threshold level of stress is here, you're here. And what I'm trying to say is how you're building on this stress from small 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and reach that threshold of stress. And then you say, oh my God, I'm so stressed. So it starts off with this, you get up with this big alarm in the morning and then you realize it's just 6 a.m. And then you say, no, I need to go back to sleep now. You go back to sleep. I need some more sleep. And then another after 5-10 minutes, the alarm rings again and again you get up. That is the next level of stress. The first level is the alarm ringing at 6 a.m. The next level, little bit of more, kind of, what do you say, more of stress that's got added for you to reach the threshold is the second time. Then the third time, you realize you have to get up. You get up and you go and check your phone. And in the phone, you have, posts, WhatsApp, from your friends and probably from your colleagues, something that you see that really irritates you, and then there's a link that's given you click the link, it goes to Instagram, it goes to Facebook, you have start looking at that and then you see some things which are not okay. So this is the first stress, second level of stress, third level of stress. Your threshold is here, you moved from 1 to 2 to 3, and then there's the next level, and then you say that, oh, I think I have to check my mails and I didn't do that yesterday night, and so you go check your mails and you're checking your mails and then you're replying to something that's unpleasant. That's the fourth level, fifth level. So you see, actually before you start your work day, you already have done around 10 to 15 things which are leading you to the direction of your stress threshold. So how do we manage this? Everything and all has a solution. So the way you manage this before you start your work day is to have a routine. And that is what I have a routine. If I don't follow the routine, I realize that, it's not working for me. I'm not responding in a proper way to my husband, to my daughter, to my maid, as I said earlier. Okay. So this is what I would like to conclude with. The 3M framework is very beautiful, which is mindfulness, movement and mindset for 5 minutes. So mindset, affirmations, movement is whatever that you're comfortable with, and mindfulness is about breathing. Okay, mindset is about affirmations and movement is about exercise or yoga, whatever that you're comfortable with, whatever you like, you do for 2 minutes. Okay, so 5 minutes of this you do anytime in your day. Okay, and I'm going to talk more about intentional routine so that this whole feeling of stuck, feeling of I'm stressed right now, I'm not able to do this, is sort of managed better. Okay, wonderful. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And what I'm going to do as a part 2 of this, that are you feeling tensed and stuck in your life right now, is to talk more about the intention of daily routine. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye. See you.